Hello everybody and welcome back to Blue Rose Mini. So first of all, I want to apologize for my absence in this channel as of late with so many things coming out and the sisters coming out and armies on parade and all that. You can imagine that it has been a pretty busy few months for me. But just jumping right into the video, we are gonna go ahead and make the base for my Knight Luna. So starting off, I just took a lead pencil, but you can take whatever you prefer, and I am just outlining the amount of land that I want to show. Now, since Knight Luna is opposite from her sister Knight Vitality, then she is going to have an ocean water theme to kind of be opposite to her sister, which has a fiery scheme to her. Or for any people who like terrain chaos, Siege and Corn would be the perfect example of what I am trying to say here. So going in with Armageddon Dust, for my texture paint, I am just going to go ahead and start outlining the beach. So as you can see, I am just carefully following the line that I previously drew. And once that is done, I can just start globbing the texture paint onto this base and spreading it out until I get it to the point where I like how it appears. Once this is done, I am going to go ahead and let this dry for about 30 minutes, come back to it, then we are going to start the painting process. So moving on to the painting process, the brightest blue that is going to be in this scheme is going to be a mixture of 2 parts Holoth Blue and Temple Guard Blue. This will give a nice bright but not too bright of a blue. And the technique that I'm going to be using to paint this base is going to be wet blending. Now, for those of you who are new to the hobby, wet blending is basically blending 2 paints while they are still wet on whatever you are painting. And having skipped over just what I did is that I just went ahead and lined the beach with the mixture of the blues. And I went ahead and filled in that gap in the center of the base. Now you're going to see me using a lot of tools to attempt to make this surface as smooth as possible, but keep in mind that most of my base is completely covered in texture paint. So as you can imagine, I'm not too accustomed to this, so please enjoy watching me struggle. So once I am pretty satisfied that it is as smooth as I'm gonna get it, I am just gonna go ahead and put water on it and wipe away any excess residue or tiny fibers that might still be on the base. We do not want that anywhere near our paint and what we are about to do. So now you're just gonna want to go ahead and make more of the mixture that I mentioned in the beginning. And then we'll get to the real fun stuff in just a moment. So now we are just going to start with our darkest color, which is Abaddon Black, and we're going to be putting this near the bottom of the base opposite the beach front. So just go ahead and glob it on there, doesn't matter how many times. And then the mediating color between the bright and dark will be McCrag Blue. So just go ahead and do the same. And having already lined the beach, you can go ahead and just glob on the mixture as well. Now this is when the wet brushing comes into play. So as you can see, I'm just brushing normally with the brush as flat to the base as possible, and without cleaning my brush or anything, I'm just going to go ahead and start spreading the Macragge blue. And as you can see, they are starting to intermingle and mix and blend quite nicely. Doing the same thing with the Abaddon Black. Now I do want to bring some of the darkness upwards a little bit, so you will see me drag the brush back up just a little bit. But I still think that the blending on here is a little too harsh, so I am just gonna go ahead and go in with my paint mixtures again until I am satisfied with the color. You can do this as many times as you want with as many colors as you want. The trick is to work quickly and to always blend from lightest to darkest, because if not, the dark color will take over the entire painting process, and then you will just have to start over by adding more of the light color. And for a big base like this, I do recommend using one of the square brushes that would normally be used to like paint a wall in the building process or something of that nature. A large brush, because it will help speed up this process and you won't have to worry about mixing the dark to light as much as you would if you were using a smaller brush. And keep in mind that you would want to do this on a surface you do not mind getting dirty, as this does require just you flicking the brush back and forth in the same direction. Do not crisscross it, do not go up and down. If you start off going side to side, then stick with side to side. And as you guys have probably noticed, I went about this in a weird kind of way. I went ahead and blended the bottom two colors instead of blending from top to bottom, and that is because I kind of wanted to make the Abaddon Black have more of a blue tint to it rather than just being a stark black, so that way the blending is just a lot easier. And as you can see, I made a mistake by going back to a light color after being in the dark colors. Now that is okay if it's the effect that you want, but if it's not, I do recommend you be extremely careful when doing this, because keep in mind you are working with wet paint and it can blend into each other quite easily. So you can see me just working the bottom of this base just to get that Abaddon Black to the right color that I want it to be. And now I am just going in with my lightest blue mixture and just going, and I am just fixing up any mistakes that I have made. Now I am choosing to use this wet blending technique because I think it's perfect for trying to get an ocean color scheme without it being too extreme, without having noticeable harsh blends in this in it, like in the beginning of the video when you could tell that it's a light and then cry and then Abaddon black. Wet blending is perfect for this because it gives you a nice gradient between the colors and makes it appear very natural. Once you're done and you have gotten it to look how you want it, it will be quite quick to dry because at this point the paint has been spread very thinly across the base. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and take Uthram Gray and start painting on waves. And I already know that a lot of you guys are gonna tell me that it's gonna look too cartoony, or it looks too cartoony, or it doesn't look realistic, you should do this and that, and I'm gonna say this right now. This is how I preferred to paint my base. You can paint it however you want it. I am quite satisfied with the end results. And you know what? If it's cartoony, then it's cartoony. You know, there's nothing wrong with having something look a little cartoony every now and then. But getting that little rant out of the way, I thank you guys for joining me today on Blue Rose Minis, and may the Emperor light your way.